Hi everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel Zero Analyst. In this video, I'll be solving 5 SQL interview questions that was asked very recently in Amazon Senior Business Analyst interview. Now, if you are somebody who's preparing for any data job in 2025, these are very common questions. You're definitely going to get one of these questions which I will be showing you today. And you need to know how to solve these questions very quickly because you will have very limited time to solve this problem. You don't have to write code, but you just need to share your approach, how you're going to solve this question. So let's go ahead and see the first question, which is going to be this one, and I'm going to call it T1. So let me just name it call T1, and let me just name it call T2. Okay, so we have two tables which is called T1 and T2. If you see, we have two columns, X and Y, and we have Z and Z2, right? So here also we have two columns. Now what they're expecting in the interviewer is that solution something like this. They want the results to be combined in one table, which has two columns from the first table and the first column from the second table. Now the problem is that if you see, there is no common relationship, no common column which basically connect with each other, right? There is no common relationship between these two tables. So how you are going to do a join if there is no common column? All they needed is basically this column that you see, this column they just needed here, right? Without any order changes, whatever the order it is, they just need this data. So all they need is this column, the first column of this table. They want it to be here, right? So usually this type of problem you can solve using join, but to solve this type of problem using join, you need to have a common column between these two tables, right? So maybe a key. So based on the key you can do the join. So when you do a join, let's say you have a table, right? You are going to get a new column which is from the table 2, and that's going to be from here, right? So this is how you will be able to get the result, but for that you need to do a join to solve this problem. So here we do not have the common column, right? So we do not have a matching column between these two tables, so that means you cannot perform the join to solve the problem. But we need to solve the problem, and you can see we need this column here in the results. So how do we solve this type of problem in interview with the time of maybe maximum 5 minutes, right? You will just have 5 minutes to solve this type of problem. So let me just go ahead and show you the question number 2. If you think you can solve it, go ahead and download the data set or create a table by just this two name and this two data set, and then solve by yourself and share your approach in the comment box. Now I will be sharing the question number 2, and then I will be coming back to the question number 1 where we will be solving together. So if your approach is different, you can share in the comment box. Let's see the question number 2. So the question number 2 here, you don't have to write the code, all you just need to give your answer. Okay, so let's go ahead and see. And this is a very common questions I have seen in many different interview. So here if you see, we have again two tables. One is called this table, one is called this table. So let's just give a name. Maybe I will just name it call tab 1. Okay, and I will be naming it call tab 2. Okay, so we have two table here, tab 1, tab 2. Each table has one column. Okay, and you can see their values. So here it says how many output will be there if we do full outer join. Now here I will say one thing, that okay, these two columns are, you can say, the common column. That means if 1 and 1 match, then we can do the join. So these are the, a common column between these two table. We don't know the rest of the column, but we just have these two columns which are the you can say having the same values. Okay, so that means if I have 1, and I can do the join with the 1, and I can get whatever in returns from here. So all they're asking, how many output is going to be there if we do full outer join. Okay, so right now here we have 5 output. So at the moment we have 5 output here, and here also we have 5 output, right? If we do a full outer join, how many number of row we are going to have in return? So this is the answer they are looking for. Here you cannot write code, you just need to tell the answer by just going through this data from this table and this table. As I've mentioned, this is a very common ask interview question because they want to check your proficiency, how fast you think, so that this is how they judge your problem solving skills. Okay, so let's see this question, the task 2, which is how many output we can have if we do left join. So this is the same, but if we do left join, then how many output we're going to get? If we do inner join, how many output we're going to get? And if we do right join, how many output we're going to get? So this is what they are asking. So let's first go ahead and solve that question number 1, and then we will come back to this question number 2, and I will show you a smart way to answer this without even writing code, and with 100% accuracy, because this is a very, very important question, as I said. Okay, so let's go ahead and think about the approach then that we think we can solve it, right? If you have some idea about union, so if we do union, so basically this data is going to be stacked here, right? So this data is going to be stacked here, because when you do union, it's simply merge it, right? It's merge it vertically, correct? Now we do not want to do that, right? Now if you want to do join, only the way we can get this result here is basically by doing join. When you do join, the tables get joined horizontally, I would say, like this way. Let's say this is the way, okay, all the data will get joined this way, right? This is how it works when you do join. And to do join, you need to have a common column between two tables. So right now we do not have a common column. So what we can do is that we can create an additional column in both table using a window function approach, which is called row number. Okay, so what we're going to do is that we're going to say we're going to create a, so let's say we're going to create a column here, okay, called rn. Okay, and same we are going to do here, called rn. So row number, so it's going to give row number 1 here, it's going to give row number 2 here, it's going to give row number 3 here, it's going to give row number 4 here. Same way it's going to give row number 1, then 2, then 3, okay, then 4. And this is the possibly the approach that I think we can use to solve it. Again, there can be multiple different approach which you can use to solve it. If you have a different approach, you can go ahead and share that in the comment box, right? Now we have a common column. So this column and this column, they have the same value. So that means based on this and this, we can do the join, right? So when we do the join, we can say based on this and this, we do the join, and then we request one column from this table and this two columns from this two table, and our problem is solved. So let's go into the query tool and let's see how we can solve it. Now for this, you can use any query tool, maybe MySQL Workbench, or you can use SQL Server, or you can use PG Admin for PostgreSQL, which I'm using. You are going to get the same answers, right? So this is the data set. You can download it from the video descriptions. So let's go ahead and quickly run this. I have already created the table, so and inserted this data. You just need to select from here to here, and you will be just running it. It's going to automatically insert the data, right? So quickly let's go ahead and see the table 1, and we have the same data here. And let's go ahead and see the table 2. We have the same data, right? So right now we do not have a common column, so we need to create a common column, then we can do the join and to solve the problem, right? So again, we're going to use a window functions row number to do that, right? So let's start with a CT. I will just use a CT, or you can also use a subquery here, and I'm going to name it called CT1 maybe, and I will just use the parenthesis. Oops. So here I'm just going to select the data from the table 1, which will be my this data, and I am just going to request row number here to create a new column, new number series. So we just need to use the over, and I'm not going to do any order by, because I will just keep it default, and I will just call it as rn. Okay, now if I just run it, you will see that it has already created a column, and it has given this row number 1 2 3 4, and this is of table 1. Okay, let's go ahead and do the same for table 2. And for table 2, I'm just going to create one more CTE. So I will just need to use a name called CTE2, and here I will just go ahead and say S, and here I will just need to put this. Okay, so right now we have here which is CTE1, and we have here which is CTE2. So in the CTE2, I will just change the table name to kind of 2, right? So let's go ahead and run this. This also has created the new columns in the table 2. So in both the table, now we have a common column, and they are having the same row number. So based on this row number, we can perform the join. So to do the join, what we would just need to do is that we are just going to say, hey, we would want everything from this first and second, so CTE1, and I can do a join with the CTE2. Okay, and I would say what is the conditions, and I would say CTE1 dot rn equals CTE2 dot rn. Okay, because they have a common column. Now if I just run this query, it's going to do the job what we are looking for. Then I would just need to filter out the columns that we need in the results. Okay, and let's go ahead and quickly check. So what is going wrong here? I'm seeing select everything from. Okay, I have 2 from here, so we have to delete 1 extra from. Okay, and I think rest everything is fine. Oops, yeah. So let's go ahead. Yeah, you can see we have the result now. So we are getting X, Y, and then row number from the first table, and then the row number from the second table. Based on this row and this row, we have done the join. You can see 1 and 1 join. That means first row and first row join, and then 2 and 2, 3 and 3, 4 and 4, right? Now, honestly speaking, when this question was given to me, and I was like, it took a really long time for me to think about the possibility approach, because it was strictly mentioned that you cannot do a join. Why? Because there is no common column. So I had to think about the possibly approach, and I had to think about creating a new column. So sometime you need to take a permissions and need to ask them, hey, can I create a new column? Because I think we can only achieve this by doing a join, and as I see there is no common column, so it's better to create a common column, maybe using window functions, right? So I took the permissions and then I kind of created a column, and then I solve the problem like this way. So all I need to just select the column that I need right now. So from the CTE1, which is the table number, first I will just say X, what I'm looking for. Okay, and I would also say I'm looking for Y, and CTE2, which is table 2, I would say I'm looking for Z, right? And if I now run it, we again have to select the entire query, and we're going to have the results. So 06171723015, right? So let's go ahead and match with the results, right? 061730150, right? You can see, so it is simply getting this data here. All we have done is that we have created additional column which is using row number window functions, and we also have created additional column which is using row number, because we have to do join this row with this row, right? As there is no relation, SQL is not going to allow, so we had to create this column. And I hope it was very useful. If in case you got confused, I would request you to go through it again one more time or 2 times, then try to think by yourself and then try to solve it. If you have any other way to solve it using a much better approach or maybe easy approach, do share with me. I will make maybe one more video with that. Okay, thank you. Let's go ahead and see now the question number 2 and all the tasks. So this is a very common question. As I said, most of the time you're going to get a question like this, but don't get confused. Very simple fundamentals you need to remember here. Now I hope you already know what is full outer join, what is left join, what is inner join, and what is right join. We just have this core 4 join, right? Full outer join is going to do the join between 2 tables. With all the match, it's going to just join row by row. If there is no match, it's going to put the null in the table where there is no matching found, right, for all the columns. So this is what it does, right? So whenever you do a full outer join, you can say that whatever the column you have, right, I mean for whatever the row you have, you're going to get all the row from this table and all the row from this table. Okay, now based on the match, you are going to kind of do the join, and wherever there is no match, it's going to be kind of you can say you will be getting the data also, but this side you will be getting null. Okay, so let's first see how to answer the first question, which is called full outer join. How many output we are going to get? So again, if you see here, we have 1, right? So we have 1 here. So that means when we do a full outer join, obviously you're going to get 1, right? So you're going to get 1 here. We have 0 and we have 0, so we're going to get a 0 here, right? Then we have 1. Again, we have 1 already, but as we have done a join, but it is still matching with this one, so you're going to also get this 1. Okay, then we have 2. So right now we have also 2 here, so we're going to get 2 here. Okay, if you do the join, then we have 6. So we do not have 6, but you're going to get 6 here. Okay, so 6 possibly for the column 2, you're going to get null here. Okay, but see, they're just asking how many output we are expecting. So they're not asking for the columns, for even you just need to tell how many row is going to be there, right? The count. So so far we have 6. So we have so far covered all the a row from this table. Now let's see what is pending from this table. So we have already talked about 1, because 1 we have we could already find possible join. So 2 also have we already got join for the common matching for 2. Only what I see is left out is kind of 5 and 7, right? So for 5 and 7, you're going to have 5 here, you're going to have then 7 here. Okay, now for 5 and 7 you're going to get null, and you're going to get null, right? So right now if you see, we are getting totally how many? So it's going to be 5 from this table, and then there is another 2 row, so totally we are having 7. If we do a full outer join, we are getting 7 output, right? So let's quickly again check if in case this is correct or not. So the best way is to check is that whatever the common row you can find value, so just include them first, and whatever you are not able to find it here, also include that. Okay, then whatever you see the common, it is already included. All you just need to kind of include the one which is which doesn't have a matching with this, so you need to include that. And if anything that has twice here, so let's say we have one more one here, like maybe one more one, so still you are just going to consider that one only one because it is already included, right? So if in case we have one more 7 here, okay, if you have one more 7 here, then we need to have one more 7 and one more null. Okay, so this is how it's going to work. So we have 7 as a result when we do a full, you can say, the full outer join. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how many output we're going to get if you do a left join. Okay, now let's go ahead and see how many output we're going to get if we are doing a left join. So if we are doing a left join, so again we're going to do the matching. So for this and this one, it's matching with 1, so we're going to get 1 here, right? And for this column 2, so it's going to get 1 here, right? Because it's matching. So I will just mention it the column 1, and this is going to be column 2. Okay, cool. So column 1. So for 0 we have a match, so we're going to get 0, and we're going to get 0 here also. For 1 we have a match, so we're going to get 1, and 1 this one, and we're going to get 1. Why? Because though we have 1 only one time, but as it is matching, so we are again going to get it here because we're doing a left join. Left join means including all the row from the left table. It's very simple. Then we have a 2 here, so we're going to say 2, and again we have a 2 matching here, so we're going to get 2. Then we have a 6, so we do not have any matching for here, but as it is a left join, so everything is included from this left table, so we're going to get null here. So the simple way to answer when you do a left join, you just tell, okay, the number of column you have, you are just going to the number of row you have in this left table, you can say that, okay, if we have 5 count, so the result is going to be by default it is 5. It cannot be more than 5. If you have a 5 row, that means 5. No matter there is how many rows are there, it doesn't matter, it doesn't impact the results. Okay, so the best way to answer this, if in case of left join, number of just row, how many rows are there, you just tell them, okay, these are the rows we're going to get in the left join. So that means if you do a right join, you're just going to tell that, okay, so if I do a right join, I will be just getting 1 2 5 7 0, right? All of them, but there is a catch, we're going to see it here. Okay, so let's go ahead and now do the right join, then we will come back to this the inner join. Okay, so if I do a right join, I will first include the 1 here. Okay, so this one is going to be included, and so let's start maybe here. If I do a right join, this one is going to be included, so this is 1. Okay, and obviously we have 1 here, so 1 is going to be mentioned. Then we have 2, so obviously we have 2 here, so 2 is going to be mentioned, so this is for the right join. Okay, then we have 5, so we mention 5 here, and we don't have 5, so we put null here, right? Null. Okay, then we have 7, so we don't have 7, so we mention 7 here, and we mention null here. Okay, then we have 0, so we mention 0 here, and then we mentioned we have a 0 here, right? So we mentioned 0 here. Okay, so this is done, right? So we have included everything. Now there is one thing that you can see, we have 1 twice. Okay, though 1 is included, so this one we will also need to include. Why? Because this one is matching with this one, so this is the reason. Here we're going to have extra 1, and we're going to have extra 1 here. So in the right join, we're going to have 1 2 3 4 5, so that means we're going to have here total 6 as an answer. Okay, and here we have got a 5. Okay, and here we have got 6 as an answer. So let's go and let's kind of see, if we do an inner join, what is going to be our answer. Now the inner join is maybe a little challenging here. Let's see how we can answer in a simple way. Okay, so if you do inner join means the one must exist in both table. If it exists, then only this that row is going to be included if it is a one. So one exists in both table, we mention one. Then zero exists in both table, we mention zero. Then one exists in both table, so we mention one. Then two exists in both table, we mention two. Six doesn't exist in both table, we do not mention it. So in inner join we're going to have 1 1 0, so we're going to have 4 as the output, right? So here we're getting as a 4, and in the right join we got how much? 6, right? So this is the answer that you can directly give it. Now let's go ahead and kind of test it if you know what we have done, if it is correct or not, right? So let's first start with the full outer join, and we're going to just check for the full outer join. I have already written the code, I will just quickly run it and show you. Okay, so I will just say full join. Okay, simply I'm just selecting the everything from the table 1 and table 2, and I'm just doing the full outer join, and I have also mentioned the common conditions. Okay, so if we're doing full outer join, we are getting 7 output. You can see 7 row as the output we have mentioned as a 7. That is correct. Okay, let's go ahead and see the left join. So let's go ahead and see the left join now. So for left join we are also going to expect, I guess, one null. So in left join we are getting 5 as the output, and let's quickly check. In the left join we have 5. Okay, so in inner join we are supposed to get 4, so let's quickly check in inner join how many we get. Oops. So in inner join I'm supposed to get 4 as the output. You can see we're getting 4, and let's go ahead and see the right join now. So in the right join we're going to have again 7. Okay, so in the right join we're getting 6. We just need to check 0 0 1 1 1 1 2 2 5 and 7, so we're getting 6, right? So I think we have, yeah, we are supposed to get 6 only, and we're getting 6, right? So this is how you can quickly answer this type of problems. Okay, let's go ahead and now see the question number 3, which is a theoretical. You just need to explain the difference. So you may get questions like this, and it's a very common. You're going to definitely get 1 or 2 theoretical questions where you just need to give your solutions, right? Maybe the understanding regarding the concept. So this was the question that was asked to me, which is where and having difference. So if I talk about where and having difference, so the difference between where and having is very simple. Where is applied before we do the group by. It's simply filtering the data on the table that we have. Let's say you have a data of a table which is a sales data, and that has maybe a column called maybe payment type, maybe credit card, debit card, or something like this. So you can simply filter the data saying that I just need the data where the payment type is only credit card. So you have a data like this, right? Say you have a table of data, right? So this is your data, right? And here is basically the card type. So CC, and maybe this is something others. So if you are filtering out, you're just selecting this both the transactions where CC, that means credit card transactions, and this is the where. Now when you talk about having, so having comes when you do aggregations, when you do group by. So let's say you are doing a group by one of the columns, and you are checking for, let's say, all the different payment type and their total sum or total count, right? So on that total number that you are going to have, which is aggregated results, if you want to filter further, that let's say, hey, I only want to see the result where this at least more than 2 payment is there. So that's where you can use the having. So the simple way you can tell is that the having is used on the aggregated result when we are using group by. After the group by, we want to further filter the result only on the aggregation column. We can use having. What does it mean by aggregation column? Let's say you have something like this, which is called CC payment totally 2, and you have others payment totally 1, right? So this column that you have created using group by, so this is called aggregation column. So in this column you can use having. Okay, now when you talk about where is simply you can apply on any columns, not only just aggregation column. You can apply on any columns, which is the actual column of the table, to filter the data before the data goes to group by. So first you use a from conditions. So you can say from, and you select the table name, let's say table name 1. Then you can say where. If you need to filter the data, then you say where. Okay, and then you can say group by. This is a part of order of execution in SQL, right? And after group by you can use a having, if in case you want to filter the data further. So, okay, so that is it. This is a very simple approach, and if you have used it, you can explain it pretty much, and you will not be stuck in this question, and this is going to give you a positive mark, right? So next, let's see, which is called explain the difference between full outer join and the left join. Now you have already seen the difference. Full outer join means getting everything wherever there is a match. So you are going to get all the row wherever there is a match. If there is a no match in the other table, then you get a null. So very simple way, if I want to explain this with one example, I have one table with 2 columns, and I have one here, maybe 0 and 0, and here I have one more table, okay, and let's say I have 1 and 2, okay, and I have 0 and 0. So let's say if this is a column 1 and column 1, these are the common columns, so 1 and 1 is matching, so I will be just, if I do a full outer join, I am just going to get a kind of here 1, and I'm just going to get 0, okay, then 1 is matching, so I will be getting 1 again, then I'm going to get let's say again 0, whatever we have, right? So then we do not have a like any other matching. But if you see 2 is here, so we are going to get 2 here, and for the 2, so I mean 2 here, and here I'm going to get null because there is no matching, okay? So full outer join means getting everything from both the table. If there is a no match, you kind of simply get null in the opposite table columns, and if there's a match, you just get the row. So this is the full outer join. If you do a left join is the same, getting all the rows from the left side table, and based on their match, and if there is a no match, still you include that. Let's say we have here 3, and we do not have 3 here, so basically if you do a left join, you're going to just include 1 and 3, okay? So for 1 you have a match called 0, you're going to get, for again 1 you're going to get 0, for 3 there is no match, you're going to get null, okay? I hope you have understood this concept. If this video was very helpful, do subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video. You can download all these resources from the video descriptions. Have a good day, take care, bye bye.